Lars Lindstrom, very successful day again for you guys on the 450 side with Jen Hunter going 1 and 2. Starting off, the second moto conditions, were you surprised at all that we called the race? What was your opinion on it?
No, it was the right call. I mean, obviously, not long after a lot of thunder and lightning bolts came down, and it really dumped. So I think the call to shorten the race when they did was pretty smart. We actually were looking at the site for the lightning strikes around the area, and at the time when they canceled it, it hadn't been that bad, and then literally like 5 minutes later, they were just everywhere. Yeah. So it's probably the safest thing to do. Yeah. And I think, I mean, for us, it didn't really make a big difference. You know, Eli had a pretty good gap on Hunter, so even though Jet had, you know, gotten into third and got the overall, I don't think Eli had gotten away enough to where Hunter couldn't make a push to try to, you know, get up to him.
So right before that second 450 moto, I felt a couple of drizzles, and I actually passed Hutch heading to the starting line. I said to him, hey, are we getting rain? And he nodded at me and said, yes. So I noticed, I believe Jet had roll-offs. At least it seems like you guys had a little bit of a...
Did you have roll-offs? No, you had tear-offs.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was wondering if you guys had any prep, or was it too last minute to do anything?
Oh, we had it. I think we were prepared. I mean, the Goggle guys got it all, you know, for whatever. But
yeah, were you guys ready bike-wise for wet? Had you guys had any last-minute foam or anything?
Our bike does really well in rain. It has since the 2017 model with the different airbox setup. So I don't think we really don't panic too much about that. And it's kind of typical here. It happened when I worked for Chad in 11 too, that it comes in and just dumps for a few minutes and then it kind of goes away. That one definitely came sooner than we thought it was. It was like looking like it was gonna be like 27 minutes or so into the moto that it was gonna actually rain, and then it started raining really quick. So even if we would have, even with hindsight, I don't know if we would have made any changes. Yeah. Hunter maybe wished he had roll-offs, but you know, roll-offs in rain don't always work great either, you know, with the lens sticking, you know, when you're pulling it and maybe braking. So I don't know. I think it was okay.
Nice. I didn't get back to the second 450 moto. I actually came up to check on Chance real quick, and I wanted to check tires because the whole scoop, no scoop thing has been kind of interesting. Like Thunder Valley last weekend, I never thought I would see a second moto at Thunder Valley where everybody in 450 class would be on scoop except for maybe, you know, 3 guys. Did you guys switch for the second motor, or did you guys go back to knobby, or did you guys stay scoop?
No, we stay with scoop.
Yeah. Do you think, has that, like with your guys, do you feel like it really just defaults that now? Is it less of a conversation of, oh, do we need to go back for a moto? Do we need to switch? Like, I'm just surprised, you know, we've had that MX-14 for a little over 2 years now, and we started dabbling it last year, but man, this year it's just every moto.
Yeah, it makes such a difference on the start, and like we found out at Hangtown, it even makes a difference on the track, you know, coming out of turns and just forward, you know, momentum. So this track, I don't think we ever had a thought of running a hard pack tire. And to be honest, I don't even know if we're going to for any of the future rounds other than Washougal. Yeah, I could see that being a knobby track. But for the rest of it, I mean, they've gotten so used to the paddle that the amount of traction you get on the start and out of turns and up hills and stuff like that it's just too much of an advantage to not use.
Now that the guys run it all the time, do you notice a little bit difference in their preference or their setup on the rear end, like what they're looking for, compared to like when guys would just throw it on for a moto and maybe ride it, you know, the week before Southwick once or twice, but now that they're on it all the time, has it changed any way you guys are setting up, say, the shock or anything to the rear of the bike?
Honestly, I don't even really know, because we've been running it for so long now, and when they ride it home, you know, it's pretty much sand track, so they're on it all the time. And that would probably be a better question for Hutch, for the crew chiefs, because I'm sure there is, you know, and also I don't know what the total, the height of the rear end when you put the tire on, the circumference of the tire. A lot of guys get kind of weirded out by the feeling of a little bit lower, a little bit higher. I don't seem to hear that that's a big issue anymore. So I think it's one of those things, they get used to it, and then they know the feeling of it.
So I know the boys have been in California the last couple weeks. They finally went back home. Right. We've seen some small physical changes we can see from the outside. Little stuff to the chassis. I know there's a lot more things that we can't see. We don't know what you guys have been up to. How big has the last couple weeks been with testing? What would you say is the biggest thing you've improved for the boys on feeling for both of them? What was the thing you guys narrowed in on?
I know that it seems like one of the biggest things was we went back to a stock linkage. That was one of the biggest improvements we made, which we had last year too, and we went back and forth with last year's setup 3 or 4 times to like really check, and then now we kind of end up settling on that. It seems like, and some of the other changes were, definitely a lot of different suspension stuff and some chassis stuff. Doesn't seem to be as big of a difference as just, unfortunately, suspension changes and some of the bigger chassis changes like linkage. And then now that they're kind of in that ballpark, just riding it, that's why they wanted to go home this week, especially Hunter, and just kind of get I think he's even said it in some of his interviews, like the eye speed, like the speed that he needs to go, getting your brain accustomed to that so that it doesn't feel like you're going a million, and that tires you out less and gets you more comfortable. So I think we worked really hard to get them to a spot where they're happy with the bike, and then now they're just going to work on themselves. And for Hunter, I mean, they had a really good week, and I think it paid off, or it showed really quickly by today. He was in the mix both motos, in the hunt for the win there until Jet stole it from him. And so, yeah, hopefully right now we can kind of just tweak on little things, but at the same time let them do their thing at home and get stronger and just try to compete every weekend for a win.
Cool. Last one, quick update. I'm sure there's not much to say because they're probably got to get checked out. Any word for Chance? Just it's not the same knee that he's dabbed or hurt before, correct?
No, that was a left knee. This is a right knee.
Okay.
He said he put it in. He dabbed it somewhere, and nobody saw it because it was on. I mean, we had a half a lap to go on the last lap, and he either dabbed it, put it in a hole or something, and it seemed like it still had a lot of. He was still tight, like it wasn't, didn't seem like a blown ACL, but definitely something wrong with his right knee. And I know it's kind of the same thing as when Jet did it. It was kind of hopeful, like, oh, maybe it's not so bad, and then it's, it's bad. So
yeah, because I remember coming by the rig around Jet did, and that was one of the first things I heard from Jacob. Is like, oh, we checked in, it seems pretty tight, but I know sometimes there's a little swelling inside, so it feels like you never really know until it goes and gets checked out. Huh?
Yeah, I mean, all I can say is that it's not good. And to see how not good it is. So it's unfortunate for him because he was obviously riding great, and just really, really bummed for him. And after going through it myself and with all the other riders we've had, it's super bummed for him.